Today I'm building in Henford on Bagley again, and I have my voice back now, so it should be normal. It's been a few days since I've been like coughing every time I speak, so this should go a lot smoother than it has been. But yeah, I decided to build something pretty tiny for this build to like get back into building since it's been a couple weeks since I've completed a build and like when I started this one I wasn't completely convinced with it. It took me like a decent amount of time to be happy with it, but I ended up actually liking this one. I think it like the colors look really nice. I go with like a lighter color palette, so like light blues, light yellows. It feels very spring to me, which I guess the weather is starting to get warm again now. So maybe I'm just like subconsciously looking forward to warm weather, which is not normal for me because I really like the winter usually. But it's been getting a little bit warmer here lately. And just like I've been having like more sunlight in my room, which has been like making me feel a little bit better, which is like not normal. Usually, once the weather starts getting warmer, I get like more depressed because I'm not looking forward to the summertime. But I'm kind of looking forward to it this year, and I don't know why I've been going on about that, but um, I had a reference picture for this that I used as inspiration, so I will pull that up. Here it is. I'll leave it on the screen for a little bit, but you could see the shape of it. That's pretty much what I was going for with it. I had no idea what I was going to do for the interior of this. I was just like not looking forward to deciding what the interior would be. Like, if you watched last week's video, I've definitely been struggling with coming up with interiors, and this one was, I mean, it's a weird shape. You could see it. It doesn't have a lot of open space in it, and it looks very cramped, and there's just like towers, and you have to like go outside to get to a certain point of the house. It like doesn't make a lot of sense, but I kind of went with a interior where it's like kind of like taken over by birds because I was talking to my friend Mossy Sim, and I don't remember what I don't remember what the conversation was, but I talked about just filling a room with bird seed for her and putting hay everywhere, and then it like turned into this being a house for our two like virtual pets with like we like use this app called Finch that helps us do our daily tasks and stuff, and so we have these little birds that we dress up and we decorate their house and stuff. And so my bird's name is Aurora and hers is Vermin. And so I imagine that they live here together even though there's like I guess do they sleep because there's only one bed. I don't know. I'm like thinking too hard about it. I don't know, but I don't think that this would be like fully functional for a sim. I didn't play test it. I did put like objects in that you can like use to fulfill your sim's needs and stuff. Like there's a bed, there's a grill, there's a fridge, there's a computer, there's a bathroom. So it's kind of like not a lot to do for activities, but there are some stuff. Sorry if I cough randomly, but yeah, when I was doing this build, I was struggling with figuring out something for that balcony space, and I just did not like any of the fences that I had picked. They were all a little bit too tall and like I thought took away from the build. And so I settled on this half wall, which I'm happy with. I think it like did what I wanted it to do without like taking away from the actual walls and tower of the build. You could see that I'm using like light blue doors and this like very pale yellow like plaster wall on the towers, and then the base is a gray stone which I put a bunch of green ivy around. I use that like green bush fence because I thought it would help it look a little bit more natural. I guess I also was inspired by, okay, I'm going to talk about Finch again, but it's this app that I use for like my to-do like daily like self-care tasks, and this month's season it's like mushroom themed and like cottagecore, and so it inspired me to want to build, and this is what I ended up building when I was inspired by it because like there's so many cute little mushroom items right now in that app. And so I do put a bunch of mushrooms in this. I put a couple on the roof. I mean, you would have seen the build in the start of the video and or the thumbnail. It's not too many mushrooms. I thought I was going to go a little bit more overboard with the mushrooms. I really didn't. I put like 3 mushrooms on the roofs in the tower. I thought that was enough, and then I just sized up some mushrooms for the landscape, and right now the landscape is just flat, and I kind of like I reached this point where I didn't feel like I could raise the terrain at all, and so I was just placing random items for the landscaping. Felt myself starting to cough, so I stopped the recording and just started coughing. Where was I? Oh yeah, the landscape. Oh well, I'm starting it right now, so you'll see. So I add these mushrooms around. That's kind of like the most mushrooms that I add is mostly in the grass, stuff like that. I do have some on the inside as well. So like the floor is mostly covered in like hay. I do put some of those white mushrooms scattered around, which I don't know if they get in the way of your Sims walking. If it could be a possibility. I did upload this to the gallery already, and I did write that I didn't play test it, and the odds of it being functional are pretty low. So if you download it, you'll probably have to like play around with it and like delete some objects or like move them around. But yeah, I decided to just like go with a kind of overgrown lot for this. I picked this lot in Henford because it feels very secluded, and I was just like in the mood to continue building in Henford. I built there for my last week's video, and so I just felt like it was right to do it again. And this part right here where I'm like putting, I think that's like snowy escape ivy. I added that to the fence pieces because I wanted it to feel a little bit more overgrown and natural because the hedges are a little bit too just like clean, and so I wanted to add it something to make it look a little bit messier so it didn't just look like a box over there. And then this is what I decide that I'm just going to lower the terrain a little bit and make like dirty ponds because I didn't want to raise the elevation. I didn't want to like try and figure out how I wanted it to work. I didn't want the stairs up to the house to be any taller, and so I knew that I wanted it to be pretty flat, but to make it seem a little bit more interesting, I just kept putting these tiny pieces of water around, mostly because I had like put that like deck, I guess, in the back, and it looked almost like a dock. And so I put the water and I'm like, all right, I'll just start placing these around and I'll make it brown. And I feel like it was the right choice to make it brown. I think it looks like pretty good like that. And now you could see the weird shape of the interior and why I guess I wouldn't recommend this house for actual gameplay unless you had like one sim. Maybe they're an occult sim or something. It would be cute if we had fairies. I could imagine a fairy sim living in this house, stuff like that. But yeah, in my head, I'm thinking like birds have like flown through the window and they've like created a nest inside of this house, which you'll see what I'm talking about because for the most part, it's like just a lot of hay everywhere, which is what I kind of did to like mock some sort of material for a nest. And I only put 1 box of bird seed, which told Molly, aka Mossy Sim, that I'd be laughing during that part. But I don't feel very giggly right now, but maybe who knows. um yeah, it's coming up soon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there it is. All right. It got a chuckle out of me, but I thought I'd be laughing a little bit more. But yeah, I put a rocking chair. I was just trying to find furniture that had like a rustic feel, I guess, with like a lighter color palette. I feel like when I'm feeling like not very inspired by interiors, I usually have to go a little bit lighter because my usual interiors are very like dark, maybe like dark academia type. Like it's like a lot of very dark browns and like wood and stuff. So usually my interiors are just like not a lot of natural light either. This one feels a little bit brighter. I end up going for like the cats and dogs like wall lanterns around, and I think it creates a really nice like atmosphere, I guess. And it helps that the walls are all like a very pale yellow, as well as the fact that I always turn the light in the game to be a lot warmer. So like I don't think I used like the yellowish, like the most yellow lighting option, but I used the like softer yellow, and then I like dim the lights a little bit, which I guess you would have seen before anyway. But yeah, this is I guess the entryway for the build, and you walk in and there's a little dining room. Um I don't know. I don't remember what I really put in here. I know that I spent a lot of time cluttering and I had a lot of fun with it. I feel like I was really enjoying like actually furnishing a build for once, and so it felt really refreshing, and I think that's like due to the fact that I took a little bit of a break, especially from interiors. I haven't done an interior since my plushie making like cabin, which was at least a few weeks ago now. Time doesn't exist to me. If you had watched last week's video, you know that I had the flu and I was sick for like over a week. And so I feel like I like lost a block of time in my head and I don't know what day it is ever. And so I'm really just trying to get back on like track with my daily schedule. And I like really was trying today. I like cleaned my desk, which was a disaster. It had just like a whole bunch of like sick stuff on it, like cough drops and like garbage. And I was like, I lost my thought again. Oh, I had to like I've been just like not able to get out of bed very much this last week because I've been like I don't know. Maybe it was just the after effects of still recovering and like my body resting from being so like sleep deprived with like the flu because I could not sleep because it was just like I guess I got tonsillitis too. I don't need to be talking about this, but I'm feeling better now physically. It takes a lot for me to like get back into habits and schedules. Like if there is a slight change in my routine, I usually really struggle to get myself back to like doing stuff. And so this is my attempt. And now I'm uploading every Friday for right now. Which I posted about in like I guess the community tab on my channel. I said that I would be posting on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Is it Eastern Daylight Time now that the clocks went ahead? Um, so instead of Mondays, because I couldn't bring myself to like get back onto that schedule. And so I wanted to upload last week and I was like, okay, it was Friday and I woke up early and I got it done. And so this week I was like, okay, I'll just do it Friday again and I'll commit to every Friday. I know that at the start of the year too, I said that I would upload like 6 times a month. That I don't think that's happening this month. Maybe I'll like get back to it if I really start feeling inspired to build more because I really do want to like build a lot more than I currently am. And I just have to see how it goes with just like me currently just trying to get my daily routine back to a normal place. But I talked over a lot of this. I really like the clutter in this build, at least for like these upstairs rooms. Like this little pantry I really liked. I used a lot of items that I don't normally get to use. Like that like book item from the Book Nook kit, that like ice box, that fruit basket that came with for rent. I sized it down a couple of times. And up here I add some plates from the like that like kitchen stuff pack that I had recently bought like a month ago now. So oh yeah, and then this is from that stuff pack too. I haven't been able to use the stuff pack that much. My dogs are bark. I've been talking through it, so I'm gonna give them a moment. It should be okay now. I think that they're done barking. I think someone just came home and they were excited. But yeah, these two rooms up here is like where I put most of my effort and energy for this build. The downstairs I really struggled with because like I usually when I do a build, I'll do most of it in like one go and it takes me around like 3 to 4 hours. Sometimes I'll do like the exterior, it'll take me an hour, and then I'll like come back to the interior later and like finish it all in like one like time, like sit down. This one took me a lot more sit downs. Like the exterior, I needed to take a couple of breaks. Like during the interior, I really had to take a lot of breaks. Like it was like days between. I just finished the downstairs of this morning, and it's like currently Wednesday when I'm like recording this. So I just finished the build today and I just didn't know what to do with this downstairs. It had been days, so I was like confused on like what I wanted it to look like. And so yeah, this is from today. You could see that there was like a cut. That was my break, and then I was back and I was like, "Oh, I need to add some stuff to this bathroom now." So I just placed like some wall clutter and I decided on some plants because I liked the like ceramic pot that it was in. I thought it like matched the vibe well. And I decide down here, like these rooms don't make a lot of sense. I'm gonna be honest. It like doesn't, but this like room where that door, like green door is, I guess that is like technically an office. I put a desk in there, and down here is another little like seating area. This could be technically the living room. So like there are, I guess, the necessary rooms for a house. There's like a kitchen, if you could say that. It's more like a pantry. There's no stove in this build. Then there is the dining room, which you have to like go outside from the pantry. Above the pantry is a bedroom, which I don't even know if it's functional. It's literally just one dirty bed in the top tower. And then down there is like the living room and the study and the bathroom. So it's got everything that you could maybe need besides a stove, but there is the grill. Um, I guess I could have done a kitchen down here instead. Maybe that would have made some sense. It's just like I don't like making builds that require ladders because it like throws me off on like the movement around the house for some reason. And so I get stuck. And so the layout's a little bit strange, which is fine. I just wanted to fill the space down here anyway, and I ended up putting just a bunch of shelves around because I thought that that would help to actually look like I put some more effort into this room down here, mostly because I really liked how the upstairs came out and I didn't want this to be like so drastically like under cluttered. I wanted it to have like a similar level of clutter and like style for it. Um I got very lucky when I placed this item down. It was like almost perfect on that shelf up there. I don't know how I did it. I'm sure it's clipping in, but I didn't want to look too closely. I decided to just take the small victory that it looked like it fit well enough. And this part is just like a really scary, dark corner with a rocking chair that would probably scare me at night. And I placed some cat food there, which makes me want to like build like a grandmother's cottage in like a flower meadow. That's like my idea that I have in my head. I would really like to do that. So I might that could be next week's video. I need to like take a look at what collab builds that I have. I need to like organize that a little bit so that I don't accidentally miss any of the collabs that I'm in. Um so I'm gonna see. But I think that next week I could try and do some sort of like cottagecore grandma's house. I think it would look really nice. And would kind of have a similar color palette to this, I think. I would use a lot of like floral wallpapers. And I'd have like a room off of the kitchen with a bunch of like animal food in it. I think that would be nice. I don't know. I haven't been this excited to build before. But yeah, these are the screenshots. I'm talking right now. I didn't take them yet, but because I was mid like talking, I can't stop. So I hope you enjoy the screenshots or whatever they look like. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.